Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow, CZT, and today's lesson is Nzepple. And the reason I'm doing Nzepple is I have a tangle called Nymph, and this is Nymph, but it starts with Nzepple. And you can see I've got a partial tangle done here, and I'm just going to show you Nzepple because I did it in class, and I noticed that some of my class had a little harder time with Nzepple, and it's really easy tangle. So we're just going to put our dots in the corner, and we're going to put a string just because we can, and we're going to grid off one section. And when I grid off for Nzepple, when I'm teaching a beginner class, you want these lines to be about a ½ inch apart. Don't be too close. Nzepple ends up very tiny anyway, and so if you have them too close, it'll be just frustrating for you to begin with. And then you do a diagonal, and when you do the diagonals, you want to come right through the center of those squares. Don't worry about whether your lines are straight. You just want to come and make sure that you cross on those lines, and then I rotate. So it's going to go all 4 directions. Vertical, horizontal, and then crisscross. So you end up with, need one right there, you end up with a grid that is vertical, horizontal, and then crossing both ways. Now, for Nzepple, it's very important that when you do your next step, that you make your lines. I'm going to show you. You're going to round off the corners and draw right on the line, then round off. So you're just rounding off the corners in that square, and you're kind of drawing I call them a rock in the center with rounded corners, or a river rock. And they round off. And you just overlap each one. Those lines you want to draw right over the line. And you continue to do that until it is completely filled in. And I'm going to switch over. I usually don't do that, but I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to finish filling this one in. So you can see I've filled in and even done a little shading here. I'm just right on the lines. So you round that corner, come down, round the corner. And as you get more proficient at this, you can make this fairly small. But you just want to make sure that you round all those corners. If you don't draw right on the line, you can come back and fill that in. But if you go slow, you want to make sure you do right on the line. And you can also take this one, I'm going to come back to the one I started, and just make your lines go any which way. I'm going to draw that one all the way over. So you have just random lines. And then you can come in and do Nzepple. Making sure you round those corners. So that's one that's done random. And you can go back and you can fill in behind to get that drama or that dimension that I like in tangles. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this tile. This one was a very precise grid. With each one of these squares filled in. Actually, they're triangles, not squares. And this one was randomly done. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in, and then we'll give it a time lapse. This is when you can really see it change as you do each one of these little stones in the triangular shape. You can see I've made a few little mistakes there. I was kind of in a hurry, and I've got some lines that cross over, but I will go back and fill in all of this space between the little stones with black, and that's going to give it lots of drama. And it also helps hide some of the imperfections that you might think you see in that random grid. Now, if you don't like filling in with a pen, if you are trying to conserve ink, if for some reason you're short on funds and you're trying to save ink, you can fill in with a pencil. So I'm just going to show you that you can fill in here with graphite. And I'm filling in between every single stone. Anywhere where I see those lines cross, I'm putting really heavy graphite down. And that's also going to give it some dimension. And I'm going to come back and I will blend it out with my shading stump. And then you can come and you can use that leftover graphite and kind of shade like half of your stones. And a lot of times I've even taken it here and then just kind of let it come up into the center of my stones. Don't want it to fill everything. We want some white and some gray to show up. And there you have Nzepple. And I could go and put a little more graphite on the side of these stones here and then blend them down in. And give them some dimension. Nzepple. Can't say enough about Nzepple. I love it because Nymph sprouted from Nzepple. As you can see, now you can see where Nymph comes from. And you can go back and look at my old, I've got a couple other videos that show, Nymph. But when it comes right down to it, it's Nzepple. Great tangle from zentangle.com. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe as always. I Love to see those subscribers so you don't miss a single video. Leave a comment and enjoy.